ready for the next big thing in innovation? No. You were supposed to say, I'm just gonna pretend you said yes.
It's only been 2 days since Apple released their iPhone Pocket, and it's already becoming the most controversial product of the year. Now, Apple's Pocket announcement was met with huge trolling online, especially since what's essentially a sock was priced at $150 for the short version and $230 for the long one.
If you spend a penny on the iPhone Pocket...
But, it was limited edition, and it was also reminiscent of, 20 years ago, Apple releasing the iPod sock. But that was $29 for a 6-pack. So many people started making videos online saying that this was the worst product Apple has ever dropped.
No one should be buying a literal sock. If you walk anywhere near me wearing an iPhone Pocket, I'm gonna do something to your pocket.
And if people actually spent that much money on a piece of cloth, we were past the point of no return. Especially considering the current cost of living crisis everyone's always complaining about. But when they were released on Friday, they sold out. Almost immediately. So, for the people who did cop, maybe just wait a couple of days for things to cool down before wearing them in public.
I'm gonna do something.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen.
Right, so in today's episode, we're going to be talking about a new product that iPhone launched that left Americans going crazier and not in the right way, a product called the iPhone Pocket. And guys, looking at this product, I'm truly convinced that creativity is truly dying out, because if this is the best product iPhone could release, then I'm wondering what the future of creativity looks like.
Right, and it's not only about an issue of creativity, but security concerns, of course, right? Because I, as an African, would never, ever even consider buying these socks and then walk in the streets of our city, Nairobi, and guarantee myself my pocket would still, not my pocket, but my phone would still be intact by the time I reach to where I'm going.
Right, that is like advertising to thieves, whatever you have. Hey thieves, I have an iPhone, I'm steal it, But anyway, guys, let's watch what we've prepared for you, and then you come back and talk about it. You can let us know your thoughts and opinion on the comment section. Also consider subscribing if it's your first time here. Right. And one last question before we go, I want to ask, would you consider buying the new Apple product, iPhone Pocket, right?
And it is so expensive.
But guys, let's watch.
I just bought the $230 iPhone sock. Actually, I got 2 of them. Yes, I woke up bright and early to go to the London Apple Store because I'm actually traveling and I didn't want to miss this release. The Apple Store employee even explained to me the design team chose a wax packaging as an homage to Issei Miyake's childhood, eating Japanese candies covered in rice wax. And then I quickly unboxed my iPhone Pocket outside. This is the short orange version, and even though the price might be steep, I kind of dig the 3D knitted design and that special nod to those old iPod socks. And yeah, I had to go with the orange. Obviously. Here's me attempting to model it. Let me know if I pulled it off. Anyway, I get this is a pretty pricey item. It's not for everyone, but as someone that's into Apple design and appreciates the design history around Miyake-san, I wanted to have it in my own personal collection. And apparently it's pretty popular too. A lot of people were checking it out at the store, and apparently it's already sold out. So I wasn't the only one purchasing this today. Now, obviously, I'm not going to do any sort of review of the iPhone Pocket. I'm not going to tell you if it's worth it because this is a fashion accessory. Its value or worth to people it's gonna vary, right? Like, a lot of people are not gonna be into this item, but there are gonna be some people that appreciate the design history around it. So if you are one of those people, let me know. Or even if you're not, what do you think of the iPhone?
They sold out. Every color, every variation is sold out. I was surprised that sold, period. I would have been surprised that sold, but sold out. You have those in your drawer, right? You got socks in your drawer. You could just cut a little bit of it, not all the way to. Matter of fact, I'm gonna make one. All right, not 3D printed, slightly worn probably. We're gonna make the incision here, and we're just gonna cut down. They probably had machines do this. Can you see what's going on? It don't even have to be perfect. And if you mess up on this one, guess what? It comes in a pair. It comes in a pair. You can try again, but you know what? This is good enough. Would you look at that? Would you look at that, ladies and gentlemen? Take my iPhone, just gonna slide it in here. Just gonna, like, what's up? Oh, I'm getting a call on my rib cage. Hello? Hello? And then you just put it back, and slide it back in there, and you good to go. And then put a jacket on and you here. What's up, man? What? Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. $100. Anybody want this one? I'm selling this one for $100. You know, it's one of one, and it comes with a pack of Pokemon cards. How about that? $100 for this one of one creation right here, and a pack of Pokemon cards.
As someone who works in marketing, I had to make a video on this because I constantly see people being surprised when these like really gimmicky products say sold out. So let's talk about it. First of all, just because a product says sold out does not mean that millions of people bought it and it was like this crazy thing that lots of people saw like potential and like value in. A lot of brands will actually only post like 3 of these really gimmicky products and then just put sold out when someone buys 3 of them, which is probably the brand owner, the marketing team, and their mom. So don't think that just because something is sold out that like all these people are buying it. I mean, they could be, but it's also a marketing technique to just lie and put that your product is sold out so that it creates this false sense of scarcity and like that you are missing out on it or that you're not seeing what other people are seeing. Like, it's all bullshit. No one's buying that.
If you're talking about possibly buying Apple's new iPhone Pocket instead of talking about Apple launching digital IDs, then you fell into their marketing. You got got. For a good portion of this year, I've been talking about different countries enacting their own digital IDs so that they can create mass censorship and mass surveillance of the general public. Australia, the EU, and the UK are the main 3 that I had been covering, but the EU specifically, after launching digital IDs, then immediately followed it up with chat control, which is where they're trying to end end-to-end encryption to all communication devices and have every single message that someone communicates with another person with auto-scanned for problematic material, and if it gets flagged, it gets auto-sent to authorities. The kicker is it's only for the public. All congressional members are exempt from that. I shouldn't have to tell you that uploading your driver's license, your passport, and possibly your social security onto your phone is not safe. I don't care how encrypted Apple claims to say it is. I promise you they are going to keep a file of your data, and if they don't, it is an incremental step towards normalizing it so that the government can do it and mandate it for everyone.
Apple dropped a new product, and they want to see exactly how stupid you are. Apple just dropped some shit called the Apple Pocket. And of course, you see that Apple continue to play in your face. And let me tell you this shit is $130. A sock for $130 to put an Apple iPhone in. They literally made an iPhone purse for the iPhone. I'm gonna tell you 2 things. Number 1, if you spend $130 for this shit, you deserve everything you're gonna get when you buy this shit, because you're gonna get something. Number 2, if you plan on throwing this shit over your shoulder and walking down the street, remember this: somebody is going to take that iPhone from you. And to be honest with you, this gotta be the worst shit that Apple ever dropped. You got the long ones paused for $230. You got the short ones for $1. What is this, man? And you know how I know people is gonna buy this shit? Because everybody is talking about this shit right now. This is the test right here. This is the Are You Stupid test right here. Because are you stupid? You gotta be if you pay $130 for a long sock to put your phone in. I'm out.
Let's unpack the iPhone Pocket, a cool carrying case designed by Apple and Issey Miyake. Let's try it on. One more thing. Like the pleated clothing Issey Miyake is known for, the 3D knit material used for iPhone Pocket is also a feat of engineering. It's one continuous piece that's both snug and stretchy for your iPhone, AirPods, and other pocketable items. It's wearable art and a luxe fashion accessory. I have the long one in sapphire, and today around New York, I chose to wear it crossbody. The color goes so well with my Issey Miyake en plissé navy suit. What do you think? Let me know down below and follow or more.
So guys, welcome back. Let us know what you think about this episode on the comment section. Yeah, you know, my question, I have to ask this. I know that from what we've watched, a lot of Americans still have a problem with this, and they're asking why Apple would come up with such a product and call itself that they were being creative and releasing a new product here. But I also, on the other hand, I'm surprised that there are people who would even go out to buy this kind of products, and that is where we talk about consumerism. Yeah.
Right, but it's also important to note that some people were thinking that out of stock or sold out would simply mean that only 3 people in the company bought those socks, and then it was done away with, because even they themselves saw that not most people or many people would buy such socks and walk around with.
Right, and you know, the dangers of today's times that we are living in is that literally anybody can become a product reviewer. Right. And unlike the older days where you used to just they launch products and then
just a few people
or models who are contracted to do this, or TV stations, and then they use those words that make people want to purchase more, you know. But right now, literally anybody can become a product reviewer. You literally do not even have to have experience for it, you know.
Right, you just talk about your experience with the product or your views on the product, right?
And the most dangerous part of this is that the fact that anybody can blow up, especially on TikTok, yeah. So it just takes one person to go on TikTok and talk about a certain product, whether it's in a good or a positive light or a negative light, provided they have an experience that people kind of are happy that they shared about, and then that video goes viral, you know. And I feel like Apple is gonna be having a lot of problems with this kind of people who review products, because they're not being paid to do anything, you know. They're just genuinely talking from their experiences.
And also there was a speaker from the videos who was saying that for those of us who are lost in the launch of these socks, and we are talking about these socks, we are not seeing the bigger picture, because Apple also launched the digital IDs, you know. And he was saying that this launching the socks was a way of Apple distracting people from launching the digital ID, and for them to not talk about that, instead talk about the socks.
What does it mean that they launched a digital ID?
You're using, I googled, and it would require Americans to use their passport to open their accounts or something like that. Let me just check it real quick.
But that is very interesting. We are moving in very interesting times here. But all in all, like, I feel like people have to look at where they spend their money. But who are we to tell people how they spend their money? Only that also reflects on these industries that are out here giving products. Because do you guys remember also a product that Kim Kardashian released, that underwear for women that had some, you know, hair, and
pubic
people
hair.
Right, and people were buying, and I'm asking myself, like,
people that bored when it comes to money or when it comes to spending. So I've gotten the article that Apple wrote, and they say the digital ID offers a secure and private way for users to create an ID in the Apple wallet, and using information from their US passports, and presents their ID with iPhone and Apple watches. And people were just worried because even though they say that the information would be secret and secure, people are worried that, you know, human is to error, and someone can always sell consumers' information to the highest bidder.
Right. And you know, guys, right now, the biggest concern people have is the amount of places you have to put your ID, your personal information, you know, because it's not just with
digital places. And being that also there are hackers out there who really know how to do their jobs also.
Right. And right now we are in a world where literally our information is out there, and we are living at the mercy of the person who's collecting our data. You know, before you open a Google account, you have to put in your passwords, you have to put in your birth,
ID, sometimes your picture.
Exactly. So these things are quite concerning. So I don't know what the future looks like. And right now you have to ask yourself, should you be afraid of the things that are being innovated, or should you embrace the change as it comes? Because definitely you cannot compare today's world with what our grandparents used to live in, you know.
Right. And our grandparents used to enjoy lives without smartphones.
The anonymous way of living.
Yeah, anonymity. Especially from the government. I do think that even here in Kenya, with people being kidnapped by who knows who, people know. Anyway, with people being kidnapped, a long time ago, like 10, 20 years back then, it would be much harder for those people to be found. True. Right now, they just use your phone to track where you are, your live location, and they nab you.
Right. So people right now are afraid to speak up against the government just because of that. You say something little about the government, and the next minute your phone has been, your phone has been tracked. You know, so right now it's quite easy for people to get to you compared to the olden days where
people didn't rely on phones
or
so
internet.
Much. And right now, you can't even say the easy thing for people to do is go back to the button phones or get rid of smartphones, because as it is, people have already gotten used to using smartphones. It's part and policy of people's lives, you know. Getting around, you use Google Maps, and like you basically do everything using your phone.
Right. And I was thinking, guys, about the price that they're selling these pockets at, and the large one goes for $230, and the other one goes for, I think, $130 or $150 thereabout.
$230 in Kenya. I'm not lying to you.
That is somebody's salary somewhere. But apparently, like, how special are these things for them to be placed at $230? You know, I feel like it is us, the consumers, who give importance to things that should not even be given importance, because once you start purchasing these kinds of things, the quality of the product people are giving you goes down, and because the demand is high, you believe you need that whatever
that product.
You know, they're excused in behaving the way they do because you are ready to spend in whatever way, you know. Anyway, guys, let us know what you think about this new product. Also, let us know, would you be buying one of these if you have the opportunity to?
Let us know, and also consider subscribing if you're new to our channel, and we'll see you on our next episode.